So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we're going to be taking a look at all of the brand new changes that have happened in today's update with zombies, and there are also a lot of stuff for multiplayer as well. So as always, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, don't forget to drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. But let's get right into it. Here we go, and enjoy. So in preparation for Season 1's arrival in Black Ops Cold War, today's incoming update will include several quality of life improvements, stability and bug fixes, game mode updates, weapon and score streak adjustments, and plenty more. This is the first major game update in the lead up period before Season 1 drops. In addition to a host of new gameplay improvements and fixes in zombies, this update also adds new Season 1 intel into Die Maschine and Onslaught as a sneak peek of what's to come in the near future. So getting straight into the changes they've made to zombies, there are four main issues they've addressed as a part of the progression system. The first one is they've addressed an issue causing progress on the Trapper Challenge to get stuck at 255. This is something I've seen quite a few people complain about. Personally, I'm not that good at zombies, so it's not something I've witnessed for myself. They've also addressed an issue that caused incorrect mastery camo progression information to display. I have seen a ton of people complain about that on Twitter, so that's been fixed. They've corrected the issue where incorrect prestige icons could display in the zombies menus. I didn't know about that one. And then the final one as a part of the progression is they've addressed an issue that sometimes caused the player's primary weapon camo to appear on a knife equipped as a secondary weapon, meaning you could have a camo on the knife that you hadn't necessarily earned. Next up, there are three major issues they've changed as a part of the combat record. First, they've addressed an issue with incorrect engagement range data for some weapons for zombies. Killing blows will now register properly for zombies in the combat record, along with eliminations of elite enemies. You've got to admit, that was quite a major issue, killing enemies and having it not register in the combat record. It's not something personally I really keep track of, but if you do, I can't imagine how frustrated you would be having killed hundreds, maybe thousands of enemies and it not registering in the combat record, so that's been fixed. Now, as a part of the UI, there are three changes. They've addressed an issue with text overlapping or extending outside the panel in intel menus. If you've seen any of my storyline videos on zombies, whenever I bring up the intel on screen, the text always overlaps, so even though you can hear in most cases what the people are saying, it's very difficult to read the transcript because the text is overlapping. You can still make out what it says, but you have to squint, so thankfully that's been fixed. They've also addressed an issue with 3D models not properly orientating in intel menus. I don't think that's a problem I've had. If I have, then I haven't noticed it. And then finally, they've addressed an issue where additional creator class slots were not appearing in the zombies lobby on PlayStation platforms. I don't know if anyone brought a PlayStation specifically for zombies this year, because one of the exclusive items that PlayStation gets over Xbox is additional creator class slots, so I feel bad for anyone who brought a PlayStation just for zombies and you don't even get the exclusive thing you were supposed to get. I will say though, the extra creator class slots for zombies I think are pretty pointless. The most I've used is maybe 3 if I just want to change my special ability mid-game, but you can edit a class slot mid-game anyway, so you only really need 1, not is it the 15 that PlayStation have. I think it's really quite a pointless feature, and once you've pack-a-punched your weapons or upgraded them, you're not then going to go back to your base weapon, so I just think the additional creator class slots are pointless. But nevertheless, that issue has been fixed. So there are then some major issues that have been mended for Die Maschine specifically. The first thing they've done is added various stability fixes. What that means exactly, I don't know. We don't have the specifics. But overall, the game should run smoother. There should be less bugs. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but about 50% of the time, whenever I'm in the starting area, once I've started up the game, the snow on the ground, this only happens in the starting room. Sometimes bugs out, it disappears where you can actually see the dirt instead of the snow, and then it changed depending on where you walked. But moving on, probably one of the biggest changes is they've added new Season 1 intel that you can discover in Die Maschine. Now, we already knew this was going to happen, so it's not a surprise, but we've already seen about half of the Season 1 intel in Die Maschine from leaks already. So when we do come to find them in the game, well, we've already seen and read some of them. They do seem to allude to the next Zombies map, DLC 1, which by now we all know is probably going to be in Vietnam, but when we do find the intel in the game, if there is anything interesting, I'll make sure I'm updating you guys. There are several major changes as a part of gameplay. They've closed various exploit areas, so if you watch a lot of God mode glitches on YouTube, how to get out of the map in Die Maschine or become invincible from the zombies, there's a chance that most of them have now been patched. I've gone into multiple online games with random people, and by the time we've opened all of the map, they're outside of it, sitting on a pipe, where the zombies can't attack them. Personally, I don't see the point of that. if you're gonna play zombies, then play it. Why would you cheat? Surely the fun part of zombies is training them, not sitting in a corner where they can't attack you. I don't know, that one always baffled me. Obviously, it's just an easy way to rank up. But moving on, they've addressed an issue that sometimes caused zombies to get stuck inside of a spawn location. I didn't know that could actually happen. They've addressed an issue that caused zombies to incorrectly use their range attack in specific locations. I have had this happen. If you didn't know, one of the abilities of zombies this time around, which they could never do before, is actually throw their meat at you. That sounds... you need some context. They can throw pieces of their flesh at you. Does that sound better? Basically, if the zombies can't reach you, whereas in previous games they wouldn't be able to attack you from range because they can only swipe at you with their hands, now, if you're out of their range, they throw themselves at you. It's difficult to explain if you haven't seen it for yourself. They've also addressed an issue that caused zombies to path incorrectly when decoys were used in specific locations. I know there's quite a few glitches, I guess you could call them, where you can throw decoy grenades in specific locations, and the zombies won't actually be able to break it, so the decoys last for longer. I did notice, though, that these seem to get hot patched pretty much a day after they're found. And then the final two changes for gameplay, they've addressed an issue that caused the incorrect floor of the minimap from appearing after spectating. So in Die Maschine, there are multiple sections to that map. I'm guessing if you're maybe on the top floor of an act, it would show you on the bottom floor in the bunker. And finally, they've addressed an issue that caused shadows to appear incorrectly on a quest character when viewed with a flashlight. That one sounds funny, but I never saw that for myself. Let me know in the comment section below how many of these glitches or bugs you actually witnessed. Moving on to the weapons, there was an issue that caused ammo to be incorrectly deducted from the DIE Electro Bolt while using Aether Shroud. That's now been fixed. They've then fixed an issue that caused the incorrect weapon rarity to appear for the player's weapon after respawning. I haven't played today after this update, but one problem I always got is whenever I dropped my Pack-a-Punch weapon, say I was just changing it out for a different one in the mystery box, and then I picked my Pack-a-Punch weapon back up, it would show up as the normal red rarity, the stock weapon. The Pack-a-Punch camo would be gone, but it would still act like a Pack-a-Punched weapon. I don't think that's what they've fixed here, but then again, I haven't played after this update yet. And then finally, they've addressed an issue that caused the duplication of weapons using the arsenal under specific circumstances. Next up, there are a couple of changes they've done to the trials. They've fixed the issue that caused the take damage and recover health trial from granting progress when recovering the bonus health granted by Juggernog. Honestly, I find that trial one of the most annoying out of the bunch, but there was an issue with that they've fixed. And then the final one for the trials is they've addressed the issue that prevented a specific trial from granting a reward. I don't know which one that was. The only time I ever really did the trials was to get the intel, but there we go. They've also addressed an issue with the mystery box. This was where it prevented some weapons from appearing in the cycle animation. Maybe that's the ray gun. Probably not. I always see the ray gun, I just never get it. One of the funniest, or probably the most game-breaking issue they've fixed as a part of the main quest is there was a rare issue that caused the main Easter egg to stop progressing at the decontamination step. Imagine getting that far in the Easter egg, which is near enough the end. I'm not sure if that's the part where you have to collect the decontamination agent from the tree, or if it's the part where you suck these splitters into the chamber. It just says decontamination step, but imagine getting that far in the Easter egg and you can't progress because it's bugged out. Not gonna lie, I'd be pretty annoyed. And then the final few changes to Die Maschine, they fixed the issue that caused incorrect icons to display while pinging certain weapons. I have seen a few videos on that. People ping weapons and then sometimes it would even show a gun that isn't currently in the game. They've also mended the issue that would prevent certain voice lines from playing. If you went and played some of the intel before, there was extra voice lines that were supposed to play. You could see evidence of them on the transcript, but you would actually never hear the person say it. And then the final two changes are for UI. They've addressed an issue that could occur where the pause menu couldn't be closed when interacting with the arsenal, and they fixed an issue that caused a mix of visual effects from different ammo mods to display when navigating the skills menu. So those were all of the main changes for zombies. There's also a few Dead Ops and Onslaught ones as well. I don't really play either of these two modes. I don't believe many people do, but still they have made a few changes. For Dead Ops Arcade, they've added various stability fixes. They've added a Room of Judgment event, various enemy AI tuning changes, along with various weapon tuning changes. And for Onslaught, they've added new intel for Season 1, they've fixed various enemy pathing, and addressed a rare issue that could cause a redundant perk to be granted from power-ups. So there we go, those are all of the changes in the latest update for Zombies. Obviously there is multiplayer as well, but this is a Zombies video. If you do want to check out all of the fixes for yourself, I will leave the link down in the description. But there we go. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.